Collins at the Down Beak House board. We're going to be doing a review of State of Origin game number 1 for 2022. Obviously, it was one of the better games that I've ever seen in Origin. It was really, really good. I thought that the monstering forward packs really dominated this game, whether it be New South Wales just simply not getting up to the task with that, or in regards to Queensland just really just dominating through that forward pack. It really was incredible, man. It was great to see. You know, even in the back lines, the New South Wales players were, there's some New South Wales backs who played pretty well despite the fact that obviously they didn't win the game. But look, I'm just excited to get into the review here because there were some great individual performances, and there were great individual performances from both teams, not just Queensland, despite obviously winning 16-10. But to remind all Queensland fans out there, we have not won the series yet. It's just game 1, but it is a big one to win because it was down in New South Wales, in Sydney. I told you guys, I've got a good record down there. I know the last 5 years didn't show that, but I've got a good record in Sydney. Just throwing that out there. So, you know, it wasn't exactly a great deal of surprise to me. I did tell you that dog mentality really was going to be coming out and showing itself quite strongly in this game, and whether New South Wales could cope with it. And I just didn't think they did, and that's why Queensland obviously won the game there in the end. And yeah, look, it was something that really got us off to a strong start for State of Origin. But let's get into the review of the game. And we've got all the individual players here. So guys, as you guys know, we did team makers here. We've got the elite quality, did the job, not that great, and Ouchee Mama. Ouchee Mama is obviously not a good game at all. You know, and we're going to have at least somebody in each of these positions. You could argue a couple of these players might even be in a position where it's like they didn't really show anything because they got injured, or there might have been a factor, for example, a player on the New South Wales bench who probably shouldn't have been there, but Freddie kind of made an odd decision. So if you disagree with me, please feel free to comment away in the comments section. Obviously, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe, but feel free to comment away in the comments section. Happy to hear your opposing thoughts to what I have to say here. Obviously, this is just my personal opinion there. Obviously, if you were in the stream last night, crazy. That was absolutely wild at the end of that game. We will be streaming live for game number 2. I probably will go to game 3 to vlog it, so I probably won't stream that one, but yeah, if you weren't in the live stream last night, you missed out. If you were, well done. Congratulations, that was crazy. But Benny Hunt here is the first man to get underway. And look, I'm not going to lie, Ben Hunt wasn't the greatest player for Queensland in the game. I don't think he did anything wrong. I think I could just throw him into the did the job section there. I don't think that realistically there's going to be many Queenslanders who don't fit, but probably who do go into the not that great or Ouchee Mama section. There definitely won't be an Ouchee Mama, but you know, Ben Hunt, he did what he needed to do. You know, he has Harry Grant there on the bench that obviously was able to help him out, and they interchanged quite well. And I thought Billy Slater actually changed them around at the right time. And no, I think that Ben Hunt was still a great player there, did his job. There was a lot of other better players who did bigger things, which is why he's going to struggle to put himself higher. But I think did the job is where I'd like to put him. Now, for New South Wales, we move to Brian To'o, and I think that I just don't think he was able to play his explosive game tonight. I think that Brian To'o tried his best, but wingers, and this is what I always get frustrated about with people in the chat and general consensus NRL fans, is that wingers are a bonus, right? Wingers are a bonus. They're not a critical position on the field, really. I know you're going to say, well, who scores the tries? Yeah, okay, wingers. But the wingers are scoring those tries in the back of their inside men, right? Their centers need to be good. Their halves need to be good. The hooker needs to go their right way, right? The winger is putting the finishing touch onto a great movement that comes from the hooker to either the halfback or the 5'8", to the centre, who then probably passes it out to Brian To'o, or the halfback or 5'8" kicks it across to Brian To'o on the wing. So wingers are not really meant to be a game changer per se, right? And people they fail to understand this, and that's why I kept saying the Bulldogs are not going to win the comp because they get Josh Adokar. Now, Brian To'o, it's going to be a bit, I think he did the job. I don't think he was not that great. I just think that whenever he got the ball, he tried his heart out, but Queensland's defence was too strong here today. But I'm going to obviously have to put him below Ben Hunt because I still think there was a bit of a difference between what Ben Hunt provided for Queensland and what Brian To'o provided for New South Wales. But I just think it'd be too harsh to drop Brian To'o into a position that I just don't believe that he wouldn't be below that. I think that he did exactly what he needed to do, but it just wasn't. There was nothing coming from the inside man. There was nothing coming from his centers. There was nothing coming from his halves, and yeah, it was unfortunate there for Brian To'o, but did the job there. Can't really complain overall, specifically with him. Moving on now to Cam Munster. Munster, baby. Oh! bing, 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 boom. Cam Munster, he obviously goes into the elite. He was my man of the match last night. I think that he had a great first half that was relatively underappreciated because the score was 6-4. It was obviously only one try piece there. But that second half was just absolutely phenomenal. It was superb, man. Like Cameron Munster, you could not have asked for a better knock there from a player that has been there and done it before. We saw 2020, he picked his team up and just really dragged them over the line there in that game 3. And he did it here again in game 1 of 2022. He was just absolutely unreal in all facets of the game, intercepting the ball when New South Wales were on the attack multiple times, the defensive stops, the attacking plays, the step, the goosey, son, the goosey. Gee whiz, Cam Munster, he was just ridiculous. So he's elite and he's going to be number 1 there. I don't think that's going to change at all there. Alrighty, Cameron Murray, score the try. I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to put him in Ouchee Mama. I think he had a really poor game. I love Cam Murray. You guys know on my streams I'm always backing in Cam Murray. I think he's a very good player. But, oh, man, that wasn't a good game for him. And he obviously is in the back row. Usually he plays the lock, but yeah, he made a few mistakes. He was never really got on the front foot, really. I wasn't a big fan of the old Cam Murray last night. It was disappointing, but we all know that he can bounce back for game 2 if he gets selected there. But we all know what New South Wales do. They're not known for loyalty. They're not known for loyalty, the old New South Wales Blues. Just ask Josh Adokar, Angus Crichton, the likes. But, yeah, Cameron Murray. Actually, to be fair, Angus Crichton might put himself back into the chances now with that game from Cam. But, look, I back him to pick himself up from this. But, yeah, he had a pretty poor game, in my personal opinion. Alrighty. Cherry-Evans, wow. This is a hard one because I thought he actually played pretty well. I think that his kicking game in the first half was diabolically bad. I think it was really, really poor, that kicking game in the first half. But I think he picked himself up quite a bit in that second half. I think he really started doing well. So I'm actually going to put him in quality. You could make an argument for elite here, but because of that first half's kicking game, I'm going to throw him into quality. I still think that Cherry-Evans had a great game, and I continuously say to you guys, although that I think he's a daily cock-eater for what he did to the Gold Coast Titans, nearly 10 years ago now, 8 years ago, 2014 was. I know it's crazy. He's coming to the end of that 10-year contract, but when it comes to State of Origin, it's a different story, and he's the captain of the state, and I think that second half, he really stood up for his team, and that's what a captain needs to do. That's literally the point of a captain, standing up when the going gets tough and dragging your team through, and I think that the halves of Queensland today were just absolutely incredible, man. Absolutely incredible, and I think Cherry-Evans will probably go towards the top area, maybe the mid area of quality, but he had a great game, nonetheless. Alrighty, Cookie Meister, Damian Cook, man! Woo! Damian Cook, man. This is a hard one. I thought that he was really on the front foot most of the night. I think he's going to be it's either the top end of do the job or low end of quality. I'm going to put him on the low end of quality here because I think that the way the game was very pacey, very, very fast, very, it was exciting. And Damian Cook was a big part of that in that first half. And then I think that Damian Cook still was a big part of it in the second half, but unfortunately for the Blues, they also were on the back foot quite a bit, and that does come down to the hooker as well, that they're not getting that fast-following motion, but I think that he was. I think that Damian Cook was actually doing pretty well with most of his attacking manoeuvres. He just couldn't seem to, I guess, push those halves along, because we're going to get to Nathan Cleary and Jarome Luai in a second, but I don't think that, unfortunately, the halves were able to help out the Cookie Meister here to reach his full potential in his game. We all know how good he can be, but I think I'll put him in quality. This could be a controversial one. You guys might rate him lower, but I still liked what I saw from the Cookie Meister. Next up here, Dane Gagai. 50-50 game here. 50-50 game. I thought that the first half he was really, really poor. I thought the second, in parts though, because I still think defensively he came up clutch in a few moments that really helped out Queensland. And the second half, I think he had a pretty damn well good half, but there was obviously that first try was his fault in my personal opinion. Well, obviously Val Holmes knocked the ball on, but the Dane Gagai's defence, it was poor, very, very poor for that first try for New South Wales with Jackie Wighton, and he also made a mistake in that first half. I can't remember what happened, but he also made a mistake, I think, with knocking the ball on or something like that, or a bad pass. I can't remember, but I think that I still think I'll put him in did the job here. I think you could even argue he's higher than did the job. I just think that I still look at those two mistakes. I look at those mistakes in the first half that brings him down. But don't get me wrong, I still think he was a fine player. I think he did a decent job there for the Maroons. But there was still a few mistakes there that need to be removed going into game number 2 in Perth. Moving on now. We got Daniel Tupou. Now, this is this is a funny one because obviously I still believe Josh Adokar should be the guy on the wing there. But I'm actually going to put Daniel Tupou in quality. Yep, not above Cherry-Evans. I'm going to put Daniel Tupou right there. I think Daniel Tupou, he ran for a lot of meters, man. He was really, really good in his game. But I don't think the game suited him, right? So he had a great game, but I do not believe the Origin arena, in regards to the way the game's gone, in regards to its pace, is for him. And I think that Josh Adokar still should be that winger. But it's hard to say that when he had as good as a game that he did. But it just came down to last night. You saw how fast and frenetic and pacey that game was in that first half. Can you imagine Josh Adokar with that, with the speed that he possesses and the ball playing ability that he has there? I know it's a bonus, and I know that, he's a winger that will have to rely on his inside men, but I just feel like they were never going to attack through Daniel Tupou's side. They're going to attack down Brian To'o's side. So that limited Brian To'o a lot more. If they've got Adokar, then Queensland don't know what side they're going to attack down. Tupou was a mind game play, and that proved it last night. Tupou was selected to defend the high play ability from the Queensland wingers rather than to attack. And that is where New South Wales lost the game as well, because they're playing to Queensland's strengths to defend Queensland's strengths rather than playing to their own abilities, in my personal opinion. I said this in my tipping video, and I believe it truly, because they didn't even attack down Tupou's side much at all. So yeah, I think he was in quality. I think that he, based on those stats, he probably does keep his spot for game 2, but I still think Josh Adokar should get that spot there realistically. Alrighty, Felise Kaufusi. For Queensland, I don't think he really did a great deal in regards to, I guess, showing. I don't think he showed a great deal stats-wise, but then again, I might just be missing something there. I'm just going off basically what I saw there, and I thought there were a few better plays in that Queensland forward pack that I'm not going to put him in not that great. I'm going to probably put him above Brian To'o there into did the job there, but I didn't really see a great deal from, I'm going to put him below Brian To'o there. I think Felise Kaufusi did his job. I just don't think that anything was spectacular, but I think that was mainly because as well, the Queensland forward pack, there were so many unbelievable achievements made by a couple of the debutants there, and also, the interchange. The interchange really is what won this game for Queensland too, mind you, and Felise Kaufusi was interchanged for a couple of guys, and obviously Queensland had to change their pack around quite frequently, by the way, as well, mind you. I think that people really don't understand how difficult of a win this was for Queensland, based on the fact that they had to keep moving players in and out, shake a little about, because of the injuries that we saw in the game too. Obviously, we saw Jermiah Nanai go down at one stage, and then we came back, and also the big injury to Xavier Coates, which obviously pushed Val Holmes to the wing. They put Capewell into the centres, and then they had to put Nanai into the starting back row, and then he got injured, and then, man, this was a big impressive win for Queensland. But I think Kaufusi did his job. Nothing special, but I think he did his job. Alrighty, Harry Grant. I'm personally put him above Cherry-Evans. Yeah, I'm going to put him into quality here. And actually, you know what? I could even argue up here. I could. But I'm going to put him in quality. And the reason being, as the top man there, is I thought Harry Grant was absolutely unbelievable in the way he came on. He really dictated the play for about that middle half. Like, it was mainly like that first 20 was Benny Hunt, and then they kind of brought Harry Grant on for the next 40, and then they put Benny Hunt on for the final 20. I don't know, that might be wrong, but that's what I remember anyway. And I thought Harry Grant was superb when he came on, man. He was so fast, he was so nifty. And I kept saying to you guys at the beginning of the stream, I kept saying, Harry Grant, he's going to be a good player when he comes on. He's going to love his speed, he's going to love this electricity, and that's exactly what he did. And I think he's going to play himself into that number 9 spot for the Australians in that Rugby League World Cup at the end of the year. So really, watch this space. Damian Cook and Harry Grant, who you're going to go with there. You could go Cookie Meister as the number 9 and then Harry Grant off the 14 role, but I don't know. Harry Grant is really playing himself in there to that number 9 spot, and I thought that was a fantastic game from him last night. Alrighty, Isaah Yeo here is going to be the next guy. I don't know why I keep punching the table, but I'm just so excited. I'm loving Rugby League right now. But Isaah Yeo, I don't know his defensive numbers. But I wasn't actually. You know what? I'm going to quickly have a look-ski here. I'm going to go get. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to cheat here, and it's not really cheating. I'm just doing whatever I want. But state of origin. Let's go have a look at the stats here for the players. because I'm considering putting him into the low end of the job or not that great because I don't think he was actually that fantastic. He probably still made probably about 100 or so meters. So 146 meters. That's pretty good, but it's still, well, wow, Tedesco made some good meters last night. Tackles made, Yeo was down, was at the 30 marker. Line breaks. Did he offloads? Did he get anything going there? He just wasn't at his best last night. I'm going to make a big call here, and I'm actually going to put him in that not that great section. I am. And, people can slaughter me all you like. You can say did the job all you like. But I just think that I know what Isaah Yeo can produce, and I think that last night wasn't his greatest. I think that he didn't get any offloads like he normally would. He didn't provide any line breaks. He made 30 tackles, which is great, but still a lot of other guys made more tackles than that, and it just wasn't really there for me. So I'm going to go not that great based on the ability that I know what he can possess. He's the best lock in the game for me. He's the best lock in the game. And, the two locks for New South Wales right now, I know Cameron Murray played the back row, but look at those guys down there, not that great, and Ouchee Mama. So, look, I think we know that Isaah Yeo can go up to that elite section very quickly, but I think in game one, he just wasn't up to it for mine. Jackie Wighton for New South Wales. Now... I think he was very good. I think it's very good. So I'm just laughing because a good friend of mine tried to tell me that Jack Wighton was the second best player on the field last night, and I thought that was absolutely outrageous, considering quite a few players there for the Maroons specifically, and I actually thought that there was a better player on the field for New South Wales. I'm going to put him into quality here. I'm going to put him above Harry Grant. I thought Jack Wighton was surreal. I thought that he obviously scored that first try. I thought he was very good in the attack. I thought his defense was great as per usual. We know Jack Wighton's a good defender. And I'm going to put him at the top end of quality there. There are going to be players that can go above him because obviously he is, firstly, he was a centre. And secondly, he was very good, but there was a lot of players that will shine above him. But he was a very, very strong candidate for elite here as well. I thought that he was just a really good player on both ends of the ball last night. Arguably the best blue. I've got him as the second best blue, and that second best blue, that first best blue is actually going to be James Tedesco here, who I'm going to put into the top end of quality as well, above Jack Wighton there. I thought those two guys were the best guys in the field for New South Wales by a long stretch, and it was exciting to see that. Despite the fact that New South Wales weren't getting anything going, these guys were still putting in a shift. That second half from James Tedesco was just absolutely fantastic. Tedesco single-handedly was trying to pull them back into that game, and arguably did, and then they obviously scored that try through Cameron Murray, and they were back in the game, but James Tedesco was phenomenal in that second half, and I think that, he was better. I feel like this is a bit rough here on the likes of Cherry-Evans and Harry Grant to go below them, but I think those two guys were really, really good, and... you know what? I actually think I might put Damian Cook down to do the job here. I'm not going to put Damian Cook down to do the job. That's actually put myself down there because I think that New South Wales still lost the game. I'm going to put him into the top end to do the job. There's no way I'll put him lower, but I think I'll put him into the top end to do the job there because I think these guys here in quality did do that little bit extra for my personal belief. But yeah, James Tedesco, surreal second half there, and it would have been a much different story if he didn't turn up in that second half. Now, a guy here for the Blues that is a bit polarising in regards to the last night's game is actually going to be Jarome Luai. Now, I thought he actually was pretty good. I thought that he wasn't unreal, but I think he definitely did the job at a pretty high-end marker. I'm going to put him above Cook and Meister in the top end of did the job. I thought that realistically, Jarome Luai was one of the most impactful guys on the team for New South Wales last night, especially when the first half, there was no James Tedesco really, Nathan Cleary, we'll get to him in a second, and Damian Cook was trying, but nothing was going. I thought Jarome Luai was still pretty good. And actually, if you look at Rando, the Ram Stats guys, Instagram, it showed that he actually did do pretty statistically well. I think he was the best statistical player on the New South Wales team. So it might be rough that I'm even putting him to the job there, but I actually thought he was pretty good. I thought he tried, but the New South Wales team, the forwards, just weren't there to help him out. Next up here, we're going to be going to, I think that's Jermiah Nanai. It is Jermiah Nanai there. Obviously, very tough to, I'm going to put him, it's tough to rate him because obviously he comes off the bench. I don't believe he's a bench player. I think if you're going to put him into that Queensland team, you start him. And I don't think he obviously got too much time. I'm going to put him into the job here, and there's no disrespect here. I'm going to put him at the bottom end, simply because we didn't get to see anything. We didn't get to see anything from Jermiah Nanai, and if we did, then it was definitely. If I'm going to go based on what we saw from him, I'd probably put him down in this area because he didn't see anything. But the fact of the matter is, I'll put him into the job because he didn't get much time. He had that injury. He then came back out. And because of coming back out there, I'm pretty happy to put him in that to the job because it shows that Queensland resilience, that Queensland toughness there. It was great to see from Jeremiah Nanai. So, look, glad to see that he's okay. Bless up to the big fella, bless up to the brother, and hopefully in game 2, if he gets his spot there, that we see him have that explosive game that we know that he can. He's been playing fantastic football for the Cowboys this year, and that's why I'm so glad to see that he's okay so that he can keep on trouncing along there for the Cows. Alrighty, Josh Papalii. I'm going to put him and did the job as well. I'm going to put him probably above. It's above Brian to yeah. I'm going to probably put him into right there. I think the Papalii did his job. I think he got what he needed to do done. I think there were better forwards in the Queensland pack that really do show out here. I think there's quite a few higher Blues here, but you're going to see a lot of these further Blues guys. They're going to not be going up to that top area. We just started off pretty strongly with a couple of their Blues performances, but I think Papalii was still fine. I think he was still good. He still ran the ball hard, but I think there were better players than him personally. But he's just an experienced player that gets the job done there for Queensland. Alrighty, Junior Paulo. Ouchee Mama, baby. Ouchee Mama. Wasn't a great performance here by the big Parramatta Eels forward. I was expecting a lot from him. He's a big guy. He knows how to run the ball hard, but that was not his best performance by a long stretch. No, sir. That was, he made a few mistakes there. Obviously, Blues fans wanking on about how they would have scored, the Queensland would have scored a try if he wasn't held back. Like, my guy, the guy's like a 400 kilos. Like, that's not an insult. He's just a tank of a human being. He's a massive dude. He's like 500 kilo, man. He's like a big bopper. That's not an insult. I'm not calling him fat. I'm just saying he's a big goddamn bopper. But that's not stopping that try. That was just terrible defense. And if you want to go technicality speaking, there is a lot of poor calls actually last night. But you move on because we all know Queensland deserved to win that game. But Junior Paulo, he deserves to go into the Ouchee Mama section here. And pretty frustrating for him because I really thought that he was going to be able to get a good motor on in this game for the Blues. But a big part of the reason why the Blues did actually lose that game. Alrighty, Kalyn Ponga. This is a big one here because I thought Kalyn Ponga had a great game. We had a few slanderish comments at the beginning of the stream saying Kalyn Ponga's not that great, he's not going to fit in here. And I thought that was ridiculous. I actually thought that Kalyn Ponga is going to go into a below Wighton, but he's going to go up there in quality. Oh, you could argue he goes above. No, I'm going to keep Wighton and Tedesco up there. I'm going to put Kalyn Ponga above Harry Grant and Cherry-Evans, though. I thought that that Kalyn Ponga was unreal in regards to the stability at the back line there in the fullback. I thought that people don't recognise that Kalyn Ponga plays for a Newcastle team that has no 6, has no 7, has no 9. Their forwards aren't great right now, and their back line is just banged up. So you've got to understand that when Kalyn Ponga comes into a good team like Queensland, he is still the best fullback in Queensland right now. The Brimdog Millionaire, he plays in the halves. I know he's the fullback, but Justin Holbrook keeps changing him in Titans. Reece Walsh, no, it's not happening right now. Too young and just no, not yet. You can make an argument for Scotty Drinkwater, but that's still like a one-time thing right now. He's got to do it consistently. So Kalyn Ponga was always going to get that spot and showed why he deserves that spot. He was really, really good in last night's game. So stable, so quality, and I'm looking forward to what he can produce in game 2 because he was able to play his game and not just, I guess, expect the ball. When he gets given the ball, he gets given it and he does what he can do with it, but he didn't need to go out looking for it. He didn't need to force the issue like he does with Newcastle. He just got the ball when he needed to. He was stable at the back, defensively quality, and, I thought he had a great game there, Kalyn Ponga. Alrighty, Kotoni Staggs. I thought he was pretty good here. I'm going to put him below Daniel Tupou, though. You could argue, actually, to be fair, I'm actually going to put him below Jarome Luai in between Damian Cook. I thought that Kotoni Staggs actually was one of their better attackers in that first half. I thought that centres here for New South Wales were actually arguably the better players there. But Staggs, he is the best centre in the game when Latrell Mitchell's not there, personally, for me. You could argue Tommy Trbojevic, but he's a fullback. We all know that. But then when Tom moves the centres, gee whiz. I thought Kotoni Staggs and Jack Wighton both did their jobs really nicely. I think Wighton was a little bit level up there, but Staggs gave it his best go there for a debutant. And wow, I was impressed to see. I was impressed by what he provided there. But obviously Queensland were just too good and were able to outdo him in the end. But individually speaking, I thought he did pretty well. Alrighty, Harry Grant, sorry. We move into Capewell here for the Maroons. Now, this is a difficult one here because obviously he started in the back row and then he moved to the centres. The team changed quite significantly around him. I'm going to put him in the do the job section, and I'm going to put him more. I'm going to probably put him above Bryant O there. I still think he was good defensively in the centres, and I think he did his job throughout the game quite nicely. And yeah, there was no problems with me with Kurt Capewell at all, man. I thought that he definitely got what he needed to do done and adjusted pretty nicely between between the two positions that he had to produce in. Next up here, we do go to Liam Martin for New South Wales, and I'm going to be putting him in the not that great section. I love Liam Martin. I think he's a really underrated workhorse there for the Penrith Panthers, but I didn't see it today. Did not see it today, unfortunately, for the Penrith Panther man. I thought Liam Martin was, pretty disappointing. I don't think he did anything really, and I think that we can see a lot better from him, especially the fact that I see him a lot more for, I guess, the hidden talent that he possesses that not many of the casuals see, and I think that even myself was disappointed by his game. So, I think that he can produce a lot more, but obviously we'll be putting him into that not that great section today. Alrighty, next up here. I can't even see who that is right now. Gee whiz, my eyesight must be going on me. Lindsay Collins here, the big fella. This is going to be a surprise for a lot of you, but I thought that he goes into that section. Yep, I think Lindsay Collins was unbelievable last night. I thought Lindsay Collins was just simply ridiculous. And the funny thing is that for the Roosters, I don't think he does that great. I think that for the Roosters, I don't see it. And I think that, look, he's a good ball runner, but I think it's pretty bland for the Roosters. But for the Maroons last night, his ball running was just, wow. He was getting the Maroons in the front foot in that first half. I thought that Lindsay Collins was just superb in so many factors, man. His defense, his ball running, his everything, man. I was so impressed by what Lindsay Collins possessed last night. So, my God, really congratulations to the big fella because he is an underrated player based on the fact that, he's more of a behind the scenes, like a Liam Martin style, but obviously different positions, but a Liam Martin style, but I just think Liam Martin's usually better for the Panthers and not good here for New South Wales. And Lindsay Collins not really necessarily great for the Roosters in my personal opinion. But geez, what a play. What a play last night. What a play last night. Okay, Nathan Cleary. Ouchee Mama, baby. Ouchee Mama. I'm sorry, and I'm going to put him at the bottom too. Yeah, you guys know that I love Nathan Cleary. I think he's the best player in the game. But last night, wow, that took a hit to his stocks, didn't it? The reason why I'm going to put him at the bottom is because you are the man. You are expected to be the man. And if you're going to have a game like you did last night, you're going to get put down in the bottom area, right at the bottom, because of the fact of the expectations. Do I think he was individually worse than Paulo? Probably not. Do I think he was individually worse than Camaro? Probably not. I think that probably you, on an individual basis, you probably have to put him above Yeo, or maybe below Yeo there, but I don't think that on an individual basis you put him at the bottom of Ouchee Mama, but he was not good. The reason why he's at the bottom is because of the expectations, he didn't deliver, and he is a huge reason why New South Wales lost last night. Yes, the forwards got monstered, that's great, but whenever Cleary got in position, his kicks were dead, his passing wasn't great, the attack was so unorganised and so unstructured, which is what I mentioned multiple times in that stream last night in that second half. Nathan Cleary had a poor game, man, and although he can change it around the game too, we know he can, that was a very, very poor game. And my question mark about Cleary is that besides that not Queensland, buddy, State of Origin, besides that grand final last year in 2021 where they beat the Rabbitohs, just want to throw this out there, Nathan Cleary doesn't exactly have a great track record in the big moments. He doesn't really have a great record in the massive moments. So I'm still waiting for Cleary to define himself as an individual player in those clutch moments. And if they win the series from here, then that's where we're going to be. We'll probably be able to see that he has that ability in the clutch moments. But he's fighting to go above Cherry-Evans there on that Australian team for the 2022 World Cup. And I think that he gets it. I do, despite the series, even if they do lose. But Cherry-Evans, He's not giving up without a fight. That's what I will say here. So, yeah, Cleary goes to the bottom end of Ouchee Mama, and that was a poor game from him. Alrighty, now Paddy Carrigan comes in now. Now, it's unfortunate I wasn't able to click on and get his jersey with the Queensland one on, so I had to go with the Broncos, unfortunately. I know, it's disgusting. But, wowee, baby. Oh, he goes to second in elite. He was ridiculous, man. Like, he was like Lindsay Collins, but actually did it for the full 82. Like, Paddy Carrigan was everywhere off the bench last night. He was ridiculous. His ball running, his ball playing, his defense. He was just, oh man, I can't describe how good this man was. So look, I'm grateful that even though he's a Broncos player, I can still really get behind him and support what he did for the state last night. And man, that was a superb performance there from a debutant as well, mind you, from a debutant. All right, Payne Haas here for the Blues. I'm going to actually put him in the not that great section. I am. I think that Payne Haas started out well. I think he started out in that first 10, 15 minutes probably looking like he was going to have a quality game, like a potentially elite game, but didn't do anything past that 10-minute mark. Literally didn't do anything. Probably didn't get much game time, or if he did, then I'm sorry. Then, wow, I didn't see him much. But I'm going to put him, and it's hard to rate any of the forwards here from New South Wales in a good marker because that's where they lost his game. That's where they lost his game in the forwards. So, Payne Haas there. He'll go into that not that great section, and disappointing from him because he is the best front row in the game. Best front row in the game. So, I think there's a lot of things going on. Well, there is a lot of things going on with him off the field right now and on the field in regards to the Broncos, and there's a lot of stuff going through his mind. So, maybe that might have gotten into him, but in the same sense, Payne Haas just wasn't great last night, unfortunately. Now we move on to another Parramatta Eel. And Reagan Campbell-Gillard, I just don't think he was great either, man. I'm going to put him in there. I think that, you can see the trend of how this game went. There is just simply all Blues in the not that great Ouchee Mama, and they're all basically forwards, besides Cleary, Cameron Murray, Junior Paulo, Isaah Yeo, Payne Haas, Liam Martin, and Reagan Campbell-Gillard. All of them are forwards besides Cleary. And that's where New South Wales lost the game. They were monsters in regards to the forward line. But Campbell-Gillard didn't do anything. There was nothing there. There was nothing there for me. So he goes to not that great section, and another disappointing performance by a New South Wales forward. But a Queensland forward here who will be going into a nice little spot is Reuben Cotter, who goes into the elite section. Now, Reuben Cotter, debutant as well. There's two debutants in that elite section right now, Reuben Cotter and Paddy Carrigan, and they were both just ridiculously good. And Reuben Cotter was, I would argue, personally, I actually, you know what? I'm going to do this based on my own personal belief. I'm going to put Reuben Cotter above Paddy Carrigan. I understand a lot of people think Carrigan was second best in the field, and he's third for me. Like, it is what it is. I thought Paddy Carrigan was just ridiculously good, but Reuben Cotter, so fast, so electric, man, from that lock position. Not only was he a great ball player, but he was a great ball runner, so strong, so fun to watch, and obviously that's what the Cowboys are seeing right now, and that's why they're so good, but Cotter was able to get the Queenslanders on the front foot many times. I thought his defense was superb as well. And no, I was really excited to see what Cotter could produce last night. And, geez, I was not disappointed at all. He was just fantastic and absolutely unreal to see the depth of Queensland returning to this team rather than, what we've seen in previous years where Queensland were struggling for depth and struggling for players. But now we've been able to find guys like Paddy Carrigan, guys like Reuben Cotter, even guys like Jermiah Nanai, the fact of the matter is that even though David Fafita's not having a good year right now, he's injured for most of this year, mind you, but David Fafita is still a guy they can bring in here to partner these guys off the bench, and it's just like there is so many quality depth players in these positions for the front rowers and for the locks and for the back row, and even Tino Fa'asuamaleaui, who we'll get to in a bit. It's really good signs for Queensland coming forward in this forward pack. So, Reuben Cotter, ridiculously good, and was great to see what he could produce. Alrighty, Ryan Matterson, another forward here for the Blues, and I'm actually going to be putting him right here. I don't think I saw anything from him either. I can't remember a play that he made. I can maybe see one run that I can think of. I do nothing else. Another trend. The Blues forwards, not a single forward right now has gone above the not that great section. Not a single forward. So, wow, I'm just throwing that out there. And the backs, besides Cleary, most of them did their jobs, except for Cleary. And with the forwards, not a single forward right now is above the not that great section. Alrighty, we move into another debutant here for Selwyn Cobbo. And I thought Selwyn Cobbo was pretty good. I think he had a lot of pressure on him. I'm actually going to be putting him. I'll put him below Tupou. I think Selwyn Cobbo. Obviously, that was a fantastic try he set up. Actually, you know what? I'm actually going to put him above Daniel Tupou. I'm going to put him above Daniel Tupou. I thought Selwyn Cobbo held his own. I think that obviously he set that try up with that nice ball from Kalyn Ponga that bounced out of the right-hand side, ran down the sideline, and then the great touch there to kick it in for the perfect bounce with Dane Gagai. I thought Selwyn Cobbo was under a lot of pressure today. I think he was under a lot of pressure. And I understand that I keep saying today and last night, but it was last night for me, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying. But I thought Selwyn Cobbo was going to be under a lot of pressure, and he was. The balls kept getting kicked out his way. You could see Nathan Cleary, instead of going down the left where he probably should have, he then changed his mind mid-play to go down the right-hand side to actually put the pressure on Selwyn Cobbo, which was the wrong play by Cleary. He was too much focused on putting pressure on Cobbo than playing the game, and I thought the Cobbo really handled himself quite well. I can't even remember a mistake that he made. So, no, I thought he was quality, and yeah, I can't wait to see what this kid produces, man. I've been saying it for a very long time now. Selwyn Cobbo is a beast, and he's going to be a beast, and he absolutely deserved the spot last night. Okay, Stephen Crichton here. Now, this one's a very tough one to do because I don't think, firstly, Stephen Crichton shouldn't have been picked. He should not have been picked. You go for Nico Hines and put him as a 14. Stephen Crichton is a specialist centre, right? He's not a good fullback, but he's a centre. He's a great centre. Why would you select Jack Wighton? Even though Jack Wighton was better, so I agree with the Jack Wighton selection, but if you're going to select Jack Wighton, he's going to play the game that he does, why bother with Crichton? It doesn't make sense to me. So it's very unfair to put Stephen Crichton below the did the job section, but in the same sense, he didn't really do anything. Like, I'm going to put him at the very bottom end of did the job. And this is not an insult to him. This is just me saying to Freddie Fittler why. You know, he comes in, he gives away that penalty, obviously, and it was past the horizontal. It's no rocket science. You know, you look at it. It's pretty clearly past the horizontal. I think Stephen Crichton, there's nothing wrong with him, but there was no point to him being there. There was no point to him being there. Put in Nico Hines, you have to. Like, there was no point to him being there. Alrighty, Tariq SIms now. He's going to go into the not that great section. He also didn't really do anything, but where do I put him here? I didn't actually see him do anything last night. I'm not going to lie. I don't know. I really don't know. Honestly, Liam Martin, Ryan Maddow, Tariq SIms, Reagan Campbell-Gillard, I didn't see all four of those guys last night. I didn't see them. Did shit. Didn't see nothing from any of those four. So, honestly, interchange those guys. Do what you want. Put those guys wherever you want in that not that great section. I didn't see those four guys last night. I didn't see them. Mad. It's just mad. So I'll put Tariq SIms there. I know how good he can be, but geez. I didn't see any of those four guys last night. Gee whiz. Alrighty, we got Tino Fa'asuamaleaui here for the Queenslanders. And I think he definitely did the job. I would probably put him... Ooh, where do I put Tino Fa'asuamaleaui? I don't think he had the best game in the history. I think he's definitely did the job. I'm just trying to figure out where I'd put him here. I think he might be above Papalii. I think he might be above Dane Gagai. Nah, I'd put him below Gagai and above Papalii here. I just find it weird that there is 3 New South Wales backs there that are above a few of those Queenslanders there. It really is kind of frustrating me a little bit, but this is my personal opinion, guys. Obviously, I'm a Queensland fan. I'm giving you my non-biased perspective, and that's why you can see 6 New South Wales players above quite a few Queenslanders here. But Tino Fa'asuamaleaui, obviously I'm a Titans fan. I love the big fella, but I love big Tino. And I thought that he got his job done tonight. I think he did what he could, and I think there were more star players on the team that took the pressure off of him. But I think that he was a really good player in what he needed to do. So, congratulations to the big fella. But alrighty, now we move to Valentine Holmes, and I am going to be putting Val Holmes into Elite. I'm trying to figure out where in Elite. I would probably put him... I'm going to put him above Lindsay Collins, below Carrigan. I think that really what annoys me is he missed that kick. That was a big kick to miss. It wasn't a hard kick to make. He missed that kick. It showed that the pressure got to him in that kick, that conversion situation, to make it a 14-point game or an 8-point game rather than a 6-point game or a 12-point game. I can't remember. Actually, with 14 points to make it, yeah, which would have sealed the game at that point. But I thought Val Holmes was defensively unreal. I think it was great to see when he moved from the centre to the wing that he was still just really, really ridiculously good. I thought it was a fantastic performance there from Val Holmes. And look, I'm giving him a negative note, and he's an elite, but it was just that kick that really grinded my gears. You need to hit that kick. You need to hit that kick there. But Val Holmes, what an absolutely superb player. I can't believe there was a comment last night talking about him going back to the NFL. What a stupid comment, but Val Holmes, yeah, that was just a really, really good performance there from a guy that obviously has rejuvenated his career this year at the Cowboys. He wasn't great last year. I was one of the first guys to say that, look, I know how good he has been, but last year he was really disappointing, and you would have seen that in the team makers that we did at the beginning of the season when we were putting him into, I think, centres. But yeah, I think that he'll be definitely changing my mind and the mind of whoever I'm doing my tier list with next year for where we put him in the tier rankings, because he was great tonight and he was great this season so far for the Cowboys. Alrighty, the final player here is going to be Xavier Coates, and really difficult one here because obviously he got injured quite early on. I think I definitely put him and did the job, and I got to put him above. I've got to put him above Nanai there. I think I'd probably put him even above Felise Kaufusi, to be honest with you, because I didn't see much of Kaufusi last night. I'm going to put Xavier Coates into the job there. I think that he would have probably put himself. I think if he kept playing that game, he would have really outclassed. I think he was on the same side as Brian To'o. I think he would have really outclassed Brian. Was it Brian To'o? I can't remember. He could have been on the side of Daniel Tupou. I think Xavier Coates would have had a pretty good game, actually. But it's unfortunate that he got injured, and I hope he's all right, man. Apparently, it's a high-grade ankle sprain. I hope that's wrong. But, yeah, look, prayers out to the big fella, and I think that Xavier Coates is an unreal winger and at the Storm, and I hope that he can come back for game 2, but I doubt it. And I think that I'll put him into the job there, but it's just unfortunate that obviously he wasn't able to play the full game there, and they did have to restructure Queensland quite a bit because, like I said, they moved the centre to the wing, and they moved the back row to the centre, and then they moved the bench back row to the back row, and then that back row got injured, and then they had to restructure it. Very impressive win for Queensland. But guys, there's my rankings here. So I think that I'm pretty spot on there with the forwards. I don't think you can argue with the forwards there, but I think that maybe the controversial ones would be. There's maybe Lindsay Collins. A lot of people would probably put him in quality, but I think he's elite for me anyway in this game specifically. I think you could make an argument that there's no way you can take Tedesco and Wighton out of that quality area, and I don't think you can take Tupou out of that quality area. Harry Grant, Cherry-Evans, Selwyn Cobbo, and no, that's not Val Holmes. They're Kalyn Ponga. I thought they definitely deserve that spot there. Luai, you could make an argument for low-end quality. You really could, but I'm not going to. Staggs might go. There might be a few guys who like Ben Hunt should go higher, or maybe Dane Gagai goes higher. But no, I think this is pretty fair, man. I think this is pretty fair, and obviously maybe for the next tier maker I do at the end of game 2, I'll probably have a tier for injuries or lacked miniature minutes, minor minutes, what I probably should put it as. So for the likes of Jermiah Nanai, the likes of Stephen Crichton, and also for the likes of Xavier Coates. But there you go, guys. Obviously, in the comment section, let me know your thoughts, where you put them. If you want to go do it, you can jump on to Tier Maker and search it up. It's there for everyone to do. And obviously hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new around here, and I will be streaming pretty much every game this weekend. I'll be streaming both games on Friday. No, I'll be at the game for the Titans-Rabbitohs game on Saturday. I'll stream game 3 on Saturday, but not game 1 or 2 because I can't get there. But game 1, I'll definitely be at vlogging, so that vlog will come out on the Monday between Titans and Rabbitohs, and I'll miss game 2 because I won't be able to get back in time. But game 3, I'll definitely be streaming, and then on Sunday we'll be doing 3 games. Oh, there's only 1 game tomorrow actually on Friday. On Sunday we'll be doing 3 games, and then on Monday we've got a game as well. So exciting weekend here on BK Sport, and I'll see you guys there. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Catch you later. Still.